going through a very bad condition of my life, very bad phase of my life after shutting down all of them and burnt a huge amount of money. Everyone goes through it. I didn't feel like it is end here. There was I was alone and I was thinking like, is it end of my career or something? And I started looking for a job, at least if I could get a 5 or 10,000 rupees of salary. That was my mind state. Because when you lose everything, you lose your confidence as well.
Correct.
And you coming up from there, it is very difficult. So I thought, why can't I learn Russian? Then I learned Russian, and that is how my career started. There's sometimes your client hesitate to express themselves.
Correct.
There are many things they do not really want to express unless they are comfortable with you. And that is kind of comfort I'm giving to my clients. So understand them, what they need, and you have to in a position to talk to the client where they would be very comfortable to talk and they express their issues, and that is where you can close the requirement of the client. Not need to invest to the fit out.
Correct.
So they just can approach any of these co-working or managed office operators. All of them are co-working, all of them managed operator.
Right.
It is just a matter of product. The reason is our COVID-19.
Right.
Because a lot of companies invested a huge amount to build their offices.
Right.
In terms of the fit outs I'm talking about, and by giving a huge lock-in as well. So that flexibility was not known to the market.
Correct.
I mean, this kind of flexibility was not known to the market at that point of time. That is why huge amount was invested into those offices by the companies.
Correct.
Now, since this has come up, no one wants to take the risk. Landlords are only interested when they have all the sources, when they have the access to all the sources. Those landlords are only interested.
Right.
Not every landlord.
Correct.
So if they are managing their own space by themselves, then only they are able to onboard clientele where they can do their fit out. They can invest to the capital to the fit out. Otherwise, not every landlord. There are landlords who says, I don't care what is happening to the space, you just are giving you option, you sell the way you want. They don't want to get into those headache of managing the space then if I give you an example of BFlex, 10 clientele requirement, each of them asking 100.
Yeah.
But they had to match your criteria.
Right.
Okay. That is where the sale comes. Unless you qualify, what we call is SQL, sales qualified lead.
Correct.
Once you qualified that particular requirement, then you move ahead discussing further.
Yeah.
If it is not qualifying with your product, then we just say no sir, thank you.
Sure.
So take an example, considering my product.
So you've got somebody I personally have taken a lot of inspiration from. Debasish. In fact, coincidentally, I'm meeting him for the first time ever. So many times I've seen him out there with his clients, building strong relationships and all that. So I'm going to sit down with him and kind of take some tips from him, from his journey, from what he's learned. So Debasish, thank you for taking this time out, and I'm glad that this time around when I made a visit to Bangalore, I could catch you. So Debasish, I'll give it to you. You're one of the smartest salespeople that I know of in the space of real estate, in the flex space. Right?
Thank you for that compliment.
Self-built, right? Somebody who has learned everything from scratch. I'm also in the journey, but you're somebody who has gotten the pulse of the customer very, very fast, right? And you know what will sell, what will not sell, and gotten that knack of closing. Everybody can become a salesperson, but the rocket salesperson, one will be the one who's closing. So you're one of that rocket salesperson that I know of in the industry. But tell me about how it all started. What was your journey? I know you're an entrepreneur. You from entrepreneurship, a lot of bruises, and then you got into this. So why don't you give us a little bit of how it all started?
Yes, thank you for having me, Shyam, here. It was unexpected, but yes, so we are here. So to start with this, I was unaware about my talent and my skills. See, if you have started working from, those beach shacks in Goa, where I learned sales. I didn't know my core skill is skills. So what happened is, while working there, I see people are my colleagues, my teammates were doing very good sale in terms of sale to those Russian people, guests. So we call customer guest in hotel terms, hospitality terms. So yes, they were doing very well. So I thought, why I am not there? why I cannot be one of them.
Right.
And the earnings was like lakhs. I'm talking about in 2007. Okay, 2007 and 8. Talking about those years, they were earning about 50,000-60,000 a month. So that moment, if you compare with the corporate salary was something around about 5,000 to 10,000 rupees at that time of era. So yes, so I thought, why can't I learn Russian? Then I learned Russian, and that is how my career started. After learning Russian, I was also doing very good in terms of earnings and everything, and got an opportunity to work those 5-star hotels just because of Russian skill, and that opportunity only came because of 26/11.
Okay.
That Mumbai attack.
Yeah.
That is where all this decline of tourists, and I thought there's no future in BShacks. I had to get job, and I worked there. There also I did a very good sale. I broke all the record of a jury hotel at that time, and that is how I got to know my core skill is sales. So yes, after working for few years, then I said, why not to start something my own? And then I started my own company called M11 Property Solution in Goa. So I did that for 8.5 years. So that company is all about providing FMS service to those A-grade properties, residential properties, not commercial, only residential property, and end-to-end solution of their guests and for themselves. Whenever they are visiting, most of them are NRIs. So if go in Goa, a lot of properties are bought and kept only for leisure. Now they started monetizing. Earlier it was only kept for their own vacation and their guest visiting and everything. Now completely they monetize everything in Goa. All these properties are being monetized.
Right.
So that is how I started, and then COVID. It is not only me. There are many others like me. Now then after that I invested into too many things. Whatever I earned this time period, I invested into multiple things like events, event company, beauty, and this salon, beauty industry, salon industry. I invested a lot of money. FMCG, I've invested a lot of money. So nothing went too good. Okay, and then I said, let's get back to what I'm good at. Let's get back to real estate. That's how this journey started with co-working in Bangalore.
Right.
Yeah, everything is going good, and this is what helped me to understand what client need is. It is not just providing the solution or the options. It is also to understand what exactly they are expecting without, there's sometimes your client hesitate to express themselves.
Correct.
Many things they do not really want to express unless they are comfortable with you.
Right.
And that is kind of comfort I'm giving to my clients. So understand them, what they need, and you have to in a position to talk to the client where they would be very comfortable to talk, and they express their issues, and that is where you can close the requirement of the client. So unless they are pretty much comfortable with you, you will not understand the actual requirement, the hidden things of the deal, where you can click and just get it closed.
Right.
That is exactly I do. So yes, by the experience with the style work.
No, so if you don't mind, right, I'll come to the sales part of it. I want you to give like 5 things that you think salespeople are doing it wrong, right? So, or what you made you successful. I'll come to that as a separate question. Now, coming to your re-entry into real estate, right? After going into multiple things, re-entry into real estate, right? You worked with an aggregator before. Now you're working with a managed office operator. Now you've seen both sides of the coin, right?
Yes.
So you've seen the selling side of it, you've seen the production side of it, the supply side of it. So and India is a market where the year-on-year growth from 2023 to 2024 is 44% is the growth of flex, right?
Yes.
And in the next 2 years or so, we're almost talking about doubling of capacity in terms of millions of square feet of space. So what is this industry for people who don't know? Like today, I think by and large, the mass population of India might probably only say co-working, right? Flex is a term that they probably don't recognize. Managed office is a term that they don't recognize. Shared office, like there are so many terms, right?
There are so many terms.
So many terms, but I think client probably is talking about serviced office or managed. So in their mind, it's different, right? So what is this managed office industry? Why in India? What the reading that I was doing, and also yesterday, by the way, I met one of the co-founders of Beehive. So managed office is like a beast that is growing only in India. Rest of the world is still co-working more like this
Flex model is
for them. Flex is co-working, right? So what do you think is unique about? First of all, I want you to explain what is managed offices, right?
Yes.
How is it different from co-working, right? Which kind of clients would want to look for managed offices than co-working? What are the pluses in doing managed offices? If you can kind of explain what is managed offices for us.
Sure. Well, see, when you are talking to any company, whenever there is a requirement about 50 plus, it's not about the requirement, it's the company size. First of all, when you say a managed office, it's the company size. Okay. If the larger companies go for a managed office, and co-working is starting from one seats. Any company, they are on a startup or this individually working as a consultant or anything, they can go to co-working and start taking a one desk and then start working from there. So in co-working there are two different terms. What I tell to my client, in co-working, when we call co-working is a private cabin and there is a flex desk. Flex desk is basically what is one single desk. So you can just pay rent for one single day starting from 5,000 to 15,000, 30,000 is there.
Right.
Depending on the operator size and quality of the space. So that is one flex. Day passes, meeting rooms, one day single desk, all open desk. These all are flex. And co-working is a private cabins. Okay, where you get the word is basically what I consider is you get to meet many other companies working next to you.
Yeah.
So it just could be a next door or it just could be a next desk also.
Correct.
That is what co-working. And it could be a starting from 5-seater private cabin to 30-40-seater private cabin.
Right.
It goes beyond that. You will not be comfortable, working next. People are working around, there's something noise is happening next to your door. That kind of environment will not enjoy. So that is where these people go for, these companies look for a managed office.
Managed office, yeah.
So why managed office? When it is team size is quite big, like 30, 40, 50 big, then they just cannot work only from the desk. They would need a collab area, like, they can just chit chat and they can discuss something. They can spend some time, or there is a visitor, they can entertain them, they can welcome them. The hospitality. Not just work, also the hospitality to your visitors and colleagues and other candidate who is coming for an interview. That is where it comes to the managed space. Managed space is completely private, what I believe, starting from 50 to 500 seats or 1,000. It depends on the company size. So yes, they prefer to have managed office. They just want to have only one point solution, one point of contact of solution for everything, and not multiple vendors, not multiple invoices, only one invoice. And they also do not want to invest to the offices. That is what managed office is growing, because companies are not needed, and the companies are not do not need to invest to the fit out.
Correct.
So they just can approach any of these co-working or managed office operators. All of them are co-working, all of them managed operator.
Right.
It is just a matter of product, what we provide to the client. Whereas Enzyme is only focused towards managed. We do not have anything co-working space where spaces are common. Where spaces are common, that is co-working. Where all the spaces are private, that is
inside your office.
That is your managed.
Right.
So if you are getting a common meeting room or common collab area or common reception, that is all co-working. So multiple people are working from there, that is co-working.
Yeah.
When it's called managed, there will be only access to your employees and your delegates or your visitors to that.
Yeah.
Not any other company working from there.
Right.
That is how it is differentiated from co-working to managed. So in co-working, as I told you before, the flex service also part of it. Managed is completely dedicated to one product, but in co-working you get all these both products, like private cabin as well as this common meeting rooms and all the stuff.
And what's your guesstimate? Because 2024 was the year of managed offices, right?
True.
So most of the growth in Flex came in India through managed offices, right? And your brand, Enzyme Offices, has picked up this momentum. Like in Bangalore, you've established a very strong presence here. When there are similar brands in other cities and global, and a lot of co-working brands also became managed office brands.
Yeah, that is the reason behind. There is a strong logic behind, because when companies started, I am saying my experience, they started as a co-working. But when they want to scale up, they have to turn their product to a managed office. Because those small startups whom they started with, they are growing, they're expanding. and those are not growing. They still have all the other options, right?
Right.
But those operators who onboarded those small startups and they are growing, they do not want to lose those clients.
Yeah.
They want to hold on to the client and they have to change their model of business. That is why they are changing to managed office. They are turning all, and co-working small players are popping up every day nowadays. Everyone is coming into this co-working concept right now. They are just taking a space of 4,000, 5,000 square feet and starting their co-working. So those customers, they still have an option, but the market needs managed offices more.
Yeah.
That is why those older startups, I mean co-working startups, are converting their product to managed office, and co-working operators are complete startups that still coming up. Every day one or other coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you see 2025 also as a year of managed offices?
Yes.
Or
Managed office will grow.
Right.
Managed office 25 years, it will keep growing because, and simultaneously co-working as well. Yeah, because everyone is there is as I told you, every one or other day these co-working startups are popping up everywhere in every city.
Right.
In even tier 3 cities also started.
Right.
To forget to tier 2 was there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now tier 3 cities also started. I come from a very small town called Barampur from Odisha. Now there also started. They're they are converting all those cyber cafe, those era. This kind of concept they are coming up with, and they are making all this, putting a small desk and making the co-working, because everyone nowadays, this Gen Z generation, everyone wants to start something their own.
Right.
They want to do something or other to have the income.
Right.
And yes, that is why co-working is growing, as well as the managed office also growing, and we'll see a huge growth in 2025-26 as well, because of the government's allocated nearly 10,000 crore for a startup, and now yes, more startups will come, and this will keep growing.
Right. So and again 2024. Most of the growth also came from GCCs, right?
Yes.
Again, not to say they were not large consumers of Indian-born companies do that. I mean, a lot of India-born companies also started to move away from conventional to that. But GCCs, since they were entering a new market, they wanted flexibility. They gave higher weightage to flexibility because they didn't know talent was coming and all, right? So now, how do you see the mix of occupants for you? Let's say Enzyme Offices. How do you see the portfolio of your clients evolving with time? Do you see more of Indian startups, like you said, Indian startups growing, getting the funding, and then they becoming your primary customers? Or you see still foreign capital, GCCs being your primary customers? Or did you see SMBs? Because I'm also seeing that trend. More traditional companies also are, rather than, they would have probably 5 years back, they were only talked about conventional offices.
True.
Right? But even like we helped recently a lift manufacturing company with a managed office. I don't think so in the last 2-3 years back, they would have even thought about sharing the building with anybody. They would have taken the whole building, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's de-risking, everybody's looking flexibility, everybody's saying, okay, why we put CapEx, right? OpEx, everything's all. So how do you see the portfolio mix of clients changing for managed office operators over the next couple of years?
The core reason behind this is COVID. If you see, COVID-19, the main reason behind scaling up our industry, this co-working or managed office industry, is the prime reason is our COVID-19.
Right.
Because a lot of companies invested a huge amount to build their offices.
Right.
In terms of the fit outs I'm
Correct.
talking about, and by giving a huge lock-in as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that flexibility was not known to the market.
Correct.
I mean, this kind of flexibility was not known to the market at that point of time.
Right.
That is why huge amount was invested into those offices by the companies.
Correct.
Now, since this has come up, no one wants to take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
You never know, this could happen at any point of time. Why to take that risk when there is a product available in the market with the easy access? Why to go and search for a warm cell and go to that DNB process and then follow up, take for 6-7 months, and then your office is ready, huge amount of investment. Why to do all this? When you have a quick access, just like this, and next 30-40 days you have office ready.
Correct.
Or also offices are ready to move in immediately. So yes, this is how, if you say about Enzyme and about the GCC, every company is looking for those.
So for you, basically, you're saying the customer base is quite diversified. It is not startups. It is not tech companies. You see every kind of company trying to.
We get see, it is all matter of those IPCs. So when we talk about GCC, this is all IPC.
IPCs, yeah.
They are completely holding on them because of the mandates. Okay. So now, as if I give an example of those two leaders of Amazon and CVR. CVR is one of the market leader.
Right.
They have a mandate with Amazon.
Yeah.
Like now Amazon's office is in Bangalore. So now CVRE team very well aware of how to provide the GC center to Amazon without investing capital to the space.
Correct.
So they are educating those companies, these IPCs, how conveniently you can get your center done.
Correct.
So this is what they approach to. This is how they approach to the landlord. Now every landlord has also become. I mean, landlord. When I say those builders have built their own manager office of brand.
Yeah.
Why? That is the demand now.
Yeah.
So if you see Sumudra has built workshop. WeWork has working from embassy. Right? They have their own JV model. Now we have BFlex from Bagmane. So if you see all these tech parks, builders, they're building their own brand nowadays.
Correct.
To compete with the office space. Because if they want to sell only the warm shell, those GCC I'm talking about, they're not interested in warm shell. Neither they're interested to invest to the capital for the fit out.
Correct.
Because there is conveniently available in the market. Landlords are very much interested to get the fit out done. And end of the day, it is all like, invested through the bank, right? It is just a matter of looking at it, how it is happening. But yes.
So at the end of the day, it's very interesting that you brought out, right? It is about, finally everything's boils down to how capital efficient you are, right? If you're a client, how capital efficient you are with respect to that. If you're a landlord, how capital efficient you are into kind of monetizing that, right? So one of the builders that I coincidentally spoke about, right? He was hey, I sell this at this percentage. This operator has a rent to revenue ratio of 1:3. I'm losing out on that revenue, right? So I'm just giving the warm shell, right? But somebody takes up the space from me, and then they're making 3x of that rent that they pay me. Now I have everything, right? I have a FM's team. I have a full building security. Everything is in my control. So builders are seeing the opportunities that if I do this entire thing vertically integrated, I don't want to lose this revenue. Correct. To the point you're saying, right? These is not asking. So it's kind of it's creating a very interesting mix of, and with CBRE acquiring Industrious in the US, the IPC or an advisor is now entering the co-working play. That's how is it? This market is opening up for every player to come in and create their presence here, right?
True.
So that's a very, and how do you see this panning out? Do you see a pattern settling in? Like maybe 10 years from now, who will be the emerging winners? Do you see landlords becoming operators, winning the game more?
And if I look at this landlord side, landlords are only interested when they have all the sources, when they have the access to all the sources. So those landlords are only interested.
Right.
Not every landlord.
Correct.
So if they are managing their own space by themselves, okay, then only they are able to onboard clientele where they can do their fit out. They can invest to the capital to the fit out.
Right.
Otherwise, not every landlord. There are landlord who says, I don't care what is happening to the space. I'm giving you warm shell, you sell the way you want. They don't want to get into those headache of, managing the space. Then if I give you an example of BFlex, BFlex is Bagmane's product. They are managing their tech bus end to end by themselves. Okay. And for them, it makes sense. They also have vendors, but it is all monitored by them. There are a few builders. They just build the building and given it to any of those companies who manage the spaces. Like there are Colliers, there are JLL. They all are big players are maintaining the property end to end.
Right.
Okay, and they give it to them. They don't want to get into this thing. They just focus only building more and more buildings and tech.
Developer.
Yes, their focus is that. But the people like BFlex, like Bagmane, because they build only more over tech parks and commercial spaces and corporate spaces, when I say, they see also opportunity. Why not I do the fit out by myself,
Right.
and give it to the client with a higher lock-in. So yes, this is why there is also revenue potential here. Because end of the day, they make more revenue out of it and more margin by giving warm shell. They whatever they could make, they are making more by doing this managed office because the service is already existing.
Correct.
Within the team.
Correct.
It is in the system.
In the system, yeah.
You just have to add more product to it. And those only operators are very well able to do it.
Yeah, yep.
But not all of the builders. Not all of them in the market.
Right, right. And what do you see the role of tech in the next couple of years, right? So, co-working has had a bunch of tech, right? Because co-working, like you said, by definition had to be more tech-oriented because they were working with startups, they were working with, and the products were smaller products, like short-term products, right? Day passes, so you had to you can't like operationally become too intensive if you don't have technology, right? To Wi-Fi, access cards, or like that. But in managed office operators, obviously that the pressure of being tech-enabled is much lower compared to a co-working, pure play co-working operator. But what do you think will be the role of tech, right? Primarily coming from the experience that you give to your clients, right? You have a tenant and they are either what kind of experience that you think tech will have a role to play in kind of giving a holistic experience to the employees of these companies that take space with managed office operators?
Well, tech-driven spaces nowadays,
because if you see, sorry to interrupt you, most of the brands that are going for the IPO are kind of pitching the tech angle into the scheme of things, right?
Correct.
I mean, frankly, that's a multiple. The valuation multiple is there, right? But are they really implementing that? Are they really taking advantage of tech the way they think that they should?
Yes, I think WeWork is doing very well. They have their own tech.
Yeah.
Okay. They have their own tech, and they are also approaching to those customers only to use the tech.
Yeah.
Not just within their clienteles. Also, they are trying to approach the direct clients as well. So they can use the tech and then use their go space like Flex.
Correct.
Focusing this Flex. Yes, tech is very much important. There is no second thought about it.
Yeah.
So it is future. It is future. Maybe by end of this year, every operator, probably those large operators I'm talking about, having 1 million plus square feet area, has to have a tech.
Which includes you.
Yeah, which includes us. We have our tech which we use for our client experience. But yes, few of the company they use outsourced techs.
Yeah.
There are many CRMs and operation management techs available in the market. So we like us, everyone probably I think using it that, but there are a few companies they build their own. If we give an example like WeWork. There are many other WeWork, and also I think if I'm not wrong, AWFI also. So a few of those large players have building, because end of the day you have to invest a huge amount of money to build that, right?
Correct.
So that is who those are strong in a state, they are building their own.
Yep.
Who those are not really need it, like us, we are a managed office operator. Our portfolio is about 1.4 million square feet, but we do not have a huge number of clients. All are enterprises. So if you see our smallest size is about 100 seats. The smallest size what we give is 100 seats.
Right.
Larger is about 1 lakh square feet.
Yep.
So yes, that is why we are not really quite dependent on that. Not today.
And the fact that the client that takes up a space from you has got everything inside their private office.
Exactly.
They're not dependent on something else to book a space or have access to space. So they probably have their own access card system. They probably have their oin internet systems.
Everything we provide their own.
Yeah.
We do not access to the team. Rest of our team is limited, because when it is managed, it is their call whom they want to allow to their office, whom not.
Correct.
Though suppose if I am giving an example, I have done a deal for in Turkish Airlines for our space. It's again managed office, but it's not that I can walk into the space. It is completely theirs. Yeah. It is their call whether they want to allow me to the space or not.
Yeah.
So what happens for clientele, like all our clienteles we are given a tech platform where they can raise their complaints. Only till that. Other that we do not access to the, only when they request this something is service is required, then only we go.
They will get inside. Yeah.
Otherwise we just cannot walk in. Whereas co-working is completely different. You can walk in.
Correct.
You have the complete access of your space. You can lock their offices also.
Yeah.
Sometime when it comes with the payments, they lock the spaces also. But in managed office you can't do that. This is a completely different thing. And all the clients are different. When we say managed, they all are enterprises. They have a large team. They are probably globally presence. Probably they are in global presence and also maybe available in pan India across. So yes, we just cannot walk into their space, but we do give a tech where they can raise their complaints just to manage the operations.
Right.
But when it comes to completely end-to-end solution, that is not being used by all these operators. It is developing. Maybe near future, everyone will start using it.
Right.
It has to be.
Eventually it has to go there.
Generation which is coming up, they do not believe in calling and putting a request. They just believe in going through app and just click try and follow through app.
So on that point, right? So some of the managed office operators have started to, the 3-4 buildings that have recently visited, right? From brands like SmartWorks, brands like WorkEasy and all that. Now they are almost like becoming lifestyle hubs, right? So you've got apart from the office, right? There is a smart store, right? If you want to pick up juice or pick up milk or bread or something, right? Along the way, or ready to eat stuff that you're going late from office, you want to go heat empty your Bisibela bath and need it. So they're doing all of that, right? And then there's like gyms. They're monetizing their cafes. Right now, the cafes, obviously they don't run the cafes themselves, but it is run under their brand, right? So the billing is happening through their systems, right? So now so all I'm trying to say is like now I see that they're investing, and one of the places I went, they have a Zumba class, and there's a Zumba instructor who comes right to do that. There's a gym with a trainer. So now beyond like this, now I see like there were recreation facilities. Now there are lifestyle facilities coming up, right? So and a lot of them already have
day school
also
coming.
Yeah,
day school, baby
care is daycare is there. So the experience of giving, like when an employee of a company or a member is going to spend 8 hours, 10 hours in your space, you kind of cater to so many things about them rather than just providing them with the Wi-Fi. Lights, AC, and all that, right? So you see the trend is there. So what is your take on that? Do you see that becoming a mainstay? That becoming everybody does that, or you'd see that it will only make sense for certain types of spaces and all that?
Yes, I believe it is not a big trend as such. It is a matter of kind of amenities you are providing to your clientele.
Right.
Okay. How do you differentiate from your brand to others?
Right.
That is what it is. Focus is. Otherwise, there is no trend as such. If you see in our offices, those all A-grade properties has vending machines for your snacks and all stuff.
Yeah.
But smart work is different here. Why? Smart work is creating a small, very tiny kind of mini supermarket. Okay, where you can just choose themselves and you can buy. Then from a vending machine. Vending machines are expensive though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and those facilities are available only where they have taken a full building having a 2 lakh square feet and more.
Correct.
Not in every place.
Because economies would not work.
It has to be, your budget friendly for the space, right? You cannot go and just because of maintaining to add amenities, you cannot go and wasting your space.
Correct.
It has to be beneficial for your clientele as well as to the operator.
Correct.
And that is what Smart Work, I think, believe they are doing. They have those small mini supermarkets in every center, and when you say those monetizing with those cafes, it's fair enough, right? You are giving a facility to your clientele,
right,
as well as you are making revenue from the space.
Correct.
And
I mean, at the end of the day, instead of that cafe, it could have been like 10 more seats or 15 more seats. So then you would have lost revenue, but then you kind of in a way make it up with a cafe.
You make more revenue from there.
Right.
Instead of seats, when you make those cafes, it is more revenue.
Correct.
Because those spaces are more expensive than the office space. When you have a ground floor and probably or a terrace, you have to give a space for the cafeteria.
Correct.
Okay. When we talk about smart work, because they take entire building, they give a common cafeteria.
Correct.
And there are also companies who do not go for those common cafeterias. They prefer private cafeterias. There are preferences there in the market.
Yeah.
Every company has their own privacy limited to their employees.
Correct.
And some people prefer only cafeteria inside their offices. But yes, this product is only differentiating from one brand to other, and providing those clients who need the services.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the monetizing the space, they have to give a space, common cafeteria, or take a small space out of it and sell it to those food vendors.
Right.
And you make money out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they are also making profit out of it, right?
Correct.
So yes, end of the day is a win-win for both. Like the food vendors as well as for the operator, also for the client.
Members. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So now we'll come to the last question. Reserve the best for the last, right? Now, this is more about Debasish, right? What has made you successful salesperson? What are the things that you, obviously, like you said that you didn't know that you were a salesperson, that was your superpower that you had, right? You discovered that, right? But then knowingly or unknowingly, let's say I come to you and say like, Debasish, teach me sales, right? Or help me get better with sales. What are the number, 8, 5 things, 3 things, 10 things that you've learned it the hard way that others can kind of emulate from your success story?
So when I was going, the best example I can give here is when I was going through a very bad condition of my life, very bad phase of my life after shutting down all of them, burnt a huge amount of money. Everyone goes through it. I didn't feel like it is end here. There was I was alone and I was thinking like, is it end of my career or something? And I started looking for a job, at least if I could get a 5 or 10,000 rupees of salary. That was my mind state.
Yeah.
Because when you lose everything, you lose your confidence as well.
Correct.
And you coming up from there, it is very difficult. And you have all of the debts and everyone's calling you, this, that. Business ends only when you have a huge debt, right?
Correct.
I was a complete on debt trap. About 10 credit cards was on minus and other loans, everything. It was not quite easy for me. It was like a very, very tough situation. Bad thoughts was coming in mind. I saw like, am I Debasish, the same Debasish who was making a huge amount of money at the time of when I was only 20 of age, making 50,000-60,000 a month, and now I am at zero, and people are saying you can't do, you don't worth anything, you are not doing anything. Is it the same me or not? So that kind of, now I said I can have a fresh start once again.
Right.
Then you believe me or not, if your mind says you can do it, you still can do it.
Yeah.
If you have a negative thought, no, I'm done and I can't do it, you cannot do it.
Yeah.
And the right approach will also not come. Remember one thing, this is my personal experience. If I would have thought, no, मेरा खत्म हो गया, तो मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, आपको approach भी नहीं आएगा. People will not even approach you. मेरा खत्म नहीं हुआ था. I said I will start again.
Yeah.
And then I started again. Approach came to me. ठीक है, आता है. God is also there. भगवान मानो या ना मानो, भगवान है. वो किसी तरीके से आपको आएगा, आपको पता नहीं चलेगा.
Right.
Approach आया. I explored it. And I said like, now I will start again. That's how I started.
Yeah.
I cleared all my debts, all my bank calls, everything finished within 6 months of time. So सब कुछ खत्म किया. And sale. To answer your question, how would you sell? So when I was going through this, I gave an interview. First interview. तो एक interview देता हूँ.
Right.
It's not that style book में जब आया मैंने ऐसे ही first interview में आ गया. I had given about 10 interviews there. ठीक है. So that's the same question, traditional question. Sell me this office. The traditional question, I think probably when you post this, you would go through this video also. So sell me this office. The same question I asked. I didn't have much knowledge that I asked. Could you please help me with your requirement? Okay. Could you explain what is exactly you're looking for? Sale is not sell anything to anyone. Okay. Sell the right thing to right person. That is sales skill.
Right.
ठीक है ना. सेल तो चोरी, रास्ते में अभी बैंगलोर में आप जाओगे, बस स्टैंड में आपको रेवन का चश्मा ओरिजिनल बोला के 200 रुपये में बेच देते हैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो सेल. सेल तो सब कुछ है. बट द ट्रू सेल व्हाट आई कंसिडर इज सेल द राइट थिंग टू राइट पर्सन. किसी को भी कुछ भी मत बेच दो, वो सेल स्किल मैं नहीं मानता उस सेल स्किल के लिए. I appreciate the customer has to be happy after your experience, sales experience.
Correct.
And they should come to you. That is the true sales for me. अगर आपने बेचा, client जाके regret किया आपसे खरीदने के बाद, वो सही sales नहीं। That is not right sales. So मेरा sales यही है, do something, the client should remember you.
So maybe I'll twist the question, right? Now, we'll take the same example, right? Sell me an office, right? And you said, tell me your requirements. Now, and you also said in the earlier part of this conversation, clients don't tell everything. Right? Clients, like you have to make them comfortable, and sometimes they don't know that they need it.
Exactly.
Right? You have to explain it to them, then they, okay, yeah, this is something I needed. So, what are the, whether आप qualifications questions बोलो या requirements gathering questions बोलो, what are the things that like somebody comes to Enzyme Offices, they're a large enough client, तो fit हो रहा है, 100 seats उनको चाहिए, so you know that you have a product to fit them. How do you discover both explicit and untold requirements of this client, and how do you solution this, right? And in my opinion, so like you said, I say sales is about solutioning, right? Advisory plus solution ko, if you put it, it's sales, right? You can't just say like this is the price and don't read, you have to solution it, right?
Yes.
So how do you discover this requirement? How do you make the customer share everything that they think they need and they think they don't need also, but how do you get this out from customers? What are the 5 questions that you ask them to get this information that you need?
Okay, now when you see a requirement, any random requirement you take, as you mentioned, 100 seats. 100 seats, to provide 100 seats to that client, there are many operators. Every operators has their product, their products are different. Not all the operators same.
Correct.
Okay. So now you have to find out whether the client is right client for you or not. Yeah. Okay. If you see, we get 10 clientele requirement, each of them asking 100.
Yeah.
But they had to match your criteria.
Right.
Okay. That is where the sale comes. Unless you qualify, what we call is SQL, sales qualified lead.
Correct.
And once you qualified that particular requirement, then you move ahead discussing further.
Yep.
If it is not qualifying with your product, then we just say no sir, thank you.
Sure.
So take an example, considering my product. Okay, my product, whatever the average range of 8 to 10,000 rupees per seat we have in the market. So when we get a client, their budget is somewhere around 7,000, we still consider, because this is what client try to hide. They might have a budget of 10,000, but they will not
reveal that to you. Yeah.
Yes. So that is where you have to qualify the client. I mean the requirement. Is it worth spending for your time or not? Okay. If you see the client has a potential to meet your budget, meet your product quality, then it makes sense. So yes, when we get such requirements, we try to get maximum things, information from the client. Moreover, it is all from the consultant. But yes, even in the consultant also, they do not really ask all these questions. They just get a query and then just cross to all the operators.
Yeah.
This is some consultant, they also do it. But when we get a direct client, we try to gather more and more information.
Right. So just to make it easy, right, consumable, like the top 5 questions that Debasish asks. First you will open it up to the client, say, tell me your requirements, right? But then what are the 5 questions that you will ask them, or whatever the number of questions?
Yes, first question is what is the number of seats you need?
Right.
They say 100 seats. I'll just come one by one question and answer.
Yeah, correct.
So when they say number of 100 seats, I particularly ask what is the number of workstation you need? People will work from there. And what is the number of, is there any cabin or anything else is required?
Yeah.
If the client has knowledge, they will share it, or else I have to share the knowledge. Send the client what all you need. That is where it comes. This is first question, what is the number of seats in? If they are, you have to educate them, sir, this is your need, you just give me the complete requirement, that is then only I can help. Whatever the requirements you take from the client, then you give them a solution. It might reduce or it might increase.
Right.
And then that's where you qualify the lead.
Correct.
Because for client, for 100 seats, he might be having a budget of 10 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees. That's where it comes. What is the exact requirement?
Right.
Find out the exact requirement. Don't, just because client said 100 seats, do not consider it as 100 seats. That is first. Second question is location. Okay. After requirement and you got the information, and then you get the location.
Right.
Educate the client with the requirement feasibility with the location. If I'm giving a hypothetical situation here. If the client is saying South Bangalore, I'm looking for a 500 seat. South Bangalore comes like HSR, and then Hosu Road, and then again this JP Jayanagar. They might not have knowledge about JP Jayanagar. They say like, I want in JP Jayanagar. JP Jayanagar, there's no much of A-grade properties. Okay.
Correct.
And that's where you disqualify the client. If the specific is asking, you have to educate them, sir. That is not the right micro market you're looking for.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for your 500 seats, then Whitefield is the right market. Then or ORR or any other preferred location, depending their feasibility. So that is second,
Right.
the location.
Correct.
Third thing comes with the price point. This is the most crucial part. But before I go to this is third, very important. But before I go to this, I ask them how soon you need it. Okay, this is the more major three parts for me. But I do not go to the third part unless the fourth and fifth was even. So I will come to the fifth part. Fourth part is how soon they need it. Okay. So now, how soon they need, they will say like, we are already in the space. They will not be comfortable here. How soon they just randomly say 1 month.
Yeah.
This could be true or this could be false also.
Correct. Yeah.
Just to get the information for you.
Yeah.
They might lie, also say like, I need it next 1 month or 1 month, 1 week or next day.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what happens. I have experienced this.
Need it tomorrow.
I need it tomorrow, right away we need it. Yesterday experience, right? I just needed to close right now. They didn't close it after getting all the information. So get the information how soon they need it. When they say how soon, you have to qualify the answer you got from there. How soon they need it. Okay. There is a way of, if it will go lengthy if I give more example to this, but you have to qualify with your own skill, how soon they need it, where they are working from, what is the team size, why they want to move, what is the lock-in they are serving. All that is a deep detailed questions. Unless they were confident, they won't answer. But this is most crucial part. Fourth part is your budget part. At price point, what are you looking for? I ask them, sir, any particular price, if you could help me with any price point you're looking for, it will be easier for me to give you the right options. If I give you options, we have near about 50 options in Bangalore. All of them will not be feasible for you, right? You have to tell me, you just have to help me to help you. Just give me what price point you're looking for. Just give me a random figure. That will help me, that will narrow down my list of options.
Right.
So yes, that is, I come and then these are the number 5 questions.
So on the price point, very interestingly, a lot of customers will say that you tell me what you have, then we'll choose from that. So how do you negate that question? So you or we don't know, we don't have a budget yet, we're just looking for options. Which means that they're obviously shopping around. Right?
Correct. This is a very important question what you have raised. This is the most struggle thing what we do. Now, if I answer this, we are not sure about our budget, or we might say we have very good budget, we have very high budget. Budget is not an issue. They talk like they're a Google or Microsoft, but in Google, Microsoft, they also have certain budgets. They people like we have no budget, we can pay anything.
This budget question is the most uncomfortable question for the client. Right? Because they feel that, at least some of them, till they build the trust with you, they feel that if they tell that, then they're going to be taken for a ride.
We will be judging them.
Correct.
The small cell.
Exactly.
So how do you?
Go ahead. How do you get the?
When you say, I'll tell in both parts. Like when I'm working from Enzyme, so I say like, sir, our product starting range is 5,500 to 12,000 rupees. Okay. So if they are fitting well, obviously they will fit well. Because that is the market standard.
The
90% market share comes within 5,000 to 12,000 to 15,000 rupees.
Right.
And then we work, co-works, and then TEC or spaces, those career players are there. Premium players are there. But this is the biggest market size segment. So now, when I say this, the client, you are putting a question back again, sir, we have starting range is 5,000 to 11,000. You tell me what price point you are looking for. Then client will be very much comfortable to tell you that, because they know unka product yahan se yahan shuru hota hai. They'll obviously 99% you will get a mid answer, like we are looking for about 10 to 10. Because client kabhi bhi aapko pura top nahi dikhayega. Top dikhai dega, we'll take granted, we'll try to quote at a higher point. Lower dikhayega to they will think that we are degrading ourselves. So they will always 99% you will get an answer of mid range.
Correct.
And that is the हाईएस्ट मार्केट शेप ऑफ द को-वर्किंग मैनेज है, जो मिड रेंज भी होता है ना, सारे के सारे 8 to 10K के में अंदर आता है. एंटरप्राइजेस भी ले लो, जो 500 का सीट भी ढूंढ रहा है, वो भी 8 to 10,000 में ढूंढेगा. बहुत लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ कंपनीज दे गो फॉर बीन 15-30K. And the options also limited, right? Unless they are quite premium company, they will not go for these offices. So 10 to 10 तो वो है ही. लेकिन जब क्लाइंट ये बोलता है ना, then you got to know कि हाँ भाई क्लाइंट तो कुछ तो बोला. At least you made to speak up.
Correct.
Whereas he was not saying we have a huge budget. A budget was not an issue. Where he was saying we are not decided yet. You at least got a number. Okay, so you understood the client is comfortable only to get a quote of this price point.
Right.
तो आप उस point में quote करो. Now next phase, अगर उस price को लेके client का requirement का पूरा immediately if you are a sales guy, you can calculate quite immediately that कितना rental आएगा. 100 seat 8,000 per seat का quote है तो 8 lakh का rental आएगा. So would you be comfortable for 8 lakh rental fully managed? So that's the right question here. Commercial discuss करना शुरू करो. Sir, I can try my best to give you best solution, but what your expectation is 8 to 10,000. If your expectation 8 to 10,000 per seat, then the rental would be 8 to 10 lakh. Are you comfortable with this? And then the right answer will come from there.
Yeah.
Yes, they will think like 8 to 10 lakh. I think it's too much. Okay, or if it is good, if it is within their budget, they say, oh, it's okay, no problem. So you get from there. Then you start proposing. This is how it starts.
Right.
At least you make them feel comfortable.
Correct.
कि क्या है? Okay. When from an aggregator side, this is from an operator side I said, right? Working from an operator side.
Correct.
अगर operator side अगर वो BPO कंपनी होता, नहीं भाई मेरा 5,000 का बजट है, मैं नहीं आ सकता भाई, then thank you very much बोल के वो मना कर देता. ठीक है. या फिर हमारे पास BPO offices है, उनके पास BPO offices है, do we have about nearly 10,000 of seats. 10,000 कैपेसिटी सीट्स हैं हमारे पास BPO सेंटर्स के लिए. ठीक है. फ्यू ऑफ देम आर वॉर्मशेल एंड ऑल्सो फ्यू क्लाइंट्स आर वर्किंग फ्रॉम देयर. तो हमारे पास है 10,000 सीट्स है. अगर है तो हम बता देंगे, नहीं है तो नहीं है. लेकिन देयर आर फ्यू ऑपरेटर्स हु डज नॉट हैव BPO सेटअप, राइट? लेकिन अभी व्हेन वी विल टॉक अबाउट एग्रीगेटर्स एंड कंसल्टेंट साइड, अगर कंसल्टेंट को ही बोलना चाहिए. Eventually, you must tell the truth to the consultant. Then only you will get the right solution.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah.
So in this, while I was a consultant, I was getting the same answer from our client. We have budget is not an issue. And a few people say like, you give us an option, we'll see.
Yeah.
Sir, I will give you n number of options are available. It's a huge market. How many options you have? Thousands of options are available in Bangalore. How many options you want me to? At least you help me to narrow down your options, right?
Yeah.
If you cannot help me to give you the right option, I'll give you and we'll end up with our 100 options. You will not able to choose what you want.
Yeah.
So इसीलिए क्लाइंट को ऐसा बात करना है कि क्लाइंट को दिखाना है that we have access to all these operators and you know all the prices. सर आप किसका बताइए, कहाँ से लोकेशन का बताइए, मैं आपको प्राइस बताता हूँ. And you choose and then I'll give the options.
Yeah.
स्मार्ट वो का ये प्राइस है, वीवो का ये प्राइस है. एंड से लाइक हमारा बजट बहुत है, हमारे साथ बजट है तो मैं TEC का भेज दूँ प्रपोजल 50,000 पर सीट, चलेगा? नहीं ये इतना बजट नहीं है. नाउ यू गॉट द आंसर. क्लाइंट का
इट्स अ प्रोसेस ऑफ एलिमिनेशन. इधर से है कि उधर से है. सो हाउ डू यू रेड इट?
एटलीस्ट क्लाइंट ने यहाँ बोला कि 50,000 उसका बजट नहीं है. यू गॉट वन आंसर हियर फ्रॉम
एक तो
बजट कुछ
कम है निकल गया.
हाँ, बजट कुछ भी है. नाउ फ्रॉम योर ईयर यू कट डाउन ऑल दिस प्रीमियम्स. सर देखिए सर, अभी 50,000 के कैटेगरी 30 to 50,000 में आता है. वी वर्क, कोवर्क्स, आपका स्पेसेस, TEC आता है, ये सब कर देते हैं. चलो ठीक है. मिड रेंज में आ जाते हैं. मिड रेंज में हमें टेबल स्पेस आ गया, देन दिस AWFIs, देन Walkie, the Hive, there are many other in Bangalore.
Yeah.
You pitch those, the starting range is between 10 to 15,000.
Right.
So if they will say like हाँ comfortable है या comfortable है तो भेजो, comfortable नहीं है they will say like आप भेजो, हम देखते हैं. सर आप बोलिए क्या क्या भेजना है, मैं वो भेज दूंगा. I have no problem sending you options. Sending you right options will save your time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save your time.
Yeah.
Not to burn on my time here. I can send you. I have a system ready. I just have to one click and all the proposals are sent. For me, it is not a challenge. It will be challenging for you to choose the right option for you.
Correct.
So you help me. Then if you talk in the right way, the client will surely help you. You instead of asking too many questions, if the client is for example, client you have asked too many questions, the client is still not happy. Put an example. Put an example from your past experience. What has happened?
Right.
So take a company name, take XYZ company name. Sir, this company, my past, I would like to, before getting to this commercials and expectations. So let me share a small experience with you. And this was the client who had come to me and looking for about 50 seats, and they are also not sure about their budget because the startup, they are working from a flat conventional space or an rented old office, and they just wanted to grow and they wanted a right office for them. They did not have any budget in mind because they're not sure about what is in the market. But whether they are sure or not, every company has the financial planning.
Potential to spend so much for office.
They do at least have financial planning, how much they can spend for the full 1 year. You just give me that, I'll give you the right option. That is what I did. They gave me a certain number. I narrowed down all the options. I gave the right options and negotiated the best possible way and handed over the space, matching their financial terms and budgets. So that is what I did in my past.
Right.
If you help me, I'll help you. If you not, then I'm still ready to help you, but it will be little longer. It will take your time more. It will be more time taking. But if you want to just to know knowledge about the market, we can spend another hour time. We can discuss end to end whatever you want. But if you really want an office at a price, matching your budget, I need you to help me with this. So yes, giving an example by taking a name, company name, also no harm in that because that is how you tell, right? Whom you all have served.
That's automatically also building credibility.
Yes, so your ability, your credibility, whatever we call it, that is what we try to convey the client who we are, whom we are dealing with, for whom we solve the problems.
Correct.
So there is no harm taking your company name, and that is where we mention our company's clientels and our websites and proposals, everything I do, right? So yes, you can give a reference also. By any chance, if you they're still you are not able to convince your client in terms of getting the information that you need to prepare a proposal, you just give a reference to the client. Sir, I've served this host client, they were very happy. I can share your number with him. You discuss with him. If you're not comfortable sharing things which I need, then you can discuss with him what kind of solution they got from us. As a consultant, I'm talking about, not appreciator. You can just say their number, and I'm pretty sure those who were very happy with your services, they will share your feedback to their clients. For sure.
Correct.
Even when I started working with my past organization, I still get references. They referred me to many other clients. These references only came because of the solutions what I've given them.
Correct.
So yes, try to get the information from the clientele. That is where you will have more closures, and you will have a hold on to the client. Once your client is comfortable with you sharing your information, they will not go on sharing with everyone, right?
Correct.
If you have someone is sharing,
it's like a fair doctor, no? You one doctor ko bata diya, you not go to
unless you are not happy with your current doctor, then you will go to another one, right?
The second.
So that is your about. Then it comes to your skills. What you have got. Okay,
right.
तो अगर एक बार आपने client को comfortable कर दिया, they will not go into other clientels. So I still get messages from my clientels whom I served in past. They are still in touch with me. The clientele who I served in past, it's been 10 years now. Those NRIs in my previous my whole organization, they are still in touch with me. I just recently added his son's wedding in Goa.
Okay.
So yes, they're still in touch with me. We do still connect. My first client was the first client who I onboarded for my business is Chief Commissioner Income Tax Delhi. So he was my first client. He only taught me a lot of things. He said at a very young age you left your job and you're starting something on. It is a huge thing. But I was thinking like what I've done. It was for me nothing. मैं तो अच्छा कमा रहा हूँ, I'm very happy. But for him it was completely, he was looking in a different way. He was like at a very young age, he is leaving his job and starting his business and growing it and getting things, whatever neither marketing, everything is doing myself. But I was not thinking like, and I'm doing quite a big thing. It was a huge risk for me, but I was never about that.
You were not, correct.
Because I was only enjoying doing it. And we didn't have much needs also.
Correct.
Young age में इतना ज़्यादा needs नहीं होता. When you are married and when you get a lot of responsibility from your family, or maybe the EMIs or the health, then you think twice. Do any startup. When you are pretty young, गया तो गया, क्या हो गया?
Yeah, correct.
It's a kind of a game for you. हारा जीत में जीता तो जीता, नहीं तो हारा तो हारा, कुछ नहीं. You are not losing anything. That is what the mindset at that age. मेरा क्या था? 1 साल करूँगा, हुआ तो हुआ, नहीं तो छोड़ दूंगा, क्या हो जाता है. मेरा ये माइंडसेट से उधर गया था. बट व्हेन यू बिकम a family member, you get a lot of responsibility for family. You cannot have that.
Yeah, you can't have that mindset.
You cannot say like, ना 1 साल हुआ तो हुआ, नहीं तो नहीं हुआ. Then how do you manage your family expenses during that time period? So yes, this is what me at that time and at this time. I'm still not married. I'm still looking forward to take more risk. For sure. इसमें अलग मजा है. कोई बोलते हैं I met a guy. He's IIT in Madras. From I graduated from IIT Madras. He's a very he's also have a very good company. Once he told me, Debasish, you are running behind to success in your life. Okay, in business, but you're losing out of your personal life, your marriage, your kids, all that experience you're losing out. But I said, this is what me. So every person has their own desires, right? Some people wants to get retired early. Some people wants to have normal life. Some people wants to grow and take all tensions. But this is what me. I'm not really. He was saying like every human being should get an opportunity to the family life
Experience.
Experience their family life. And you also, that is your birthright. You must have that family life. I said I'm not still comfortable for that at this point of time. Once I'm comfortable, once I'm confident, I'll still do it. But right now, some people say, nah, I'm at 27, 30. Now this is time for getting married. Okay. I don't feel I'm still ready ready for getting married. And
Sure.
देखते हैं क्या होता है आगे.
Don't worry, I got married at 27, so you're not an outlier. So you can definitely. But again, you're right. I mean, the ability to bear it all and take a brave decision, that ability does diminish quite a bit.
You will get
With all
progress.
that,
मैं बहुत सारा इंस्पिरेशनल वीडियोस देखा. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं फालतू के वीडियोस हैं, ऐसे ही डाल देते हैं. लेकिन वो फालतू हो या ऐसे ही डाल देते हो, दैट गिव्स अ लॉट ऑफ मोटिवेशन. दोज फेलियर्स, तो दोज फेलियर्स, जो सक्सेस है वो मोटिवेशन वीडियो देखेंगे क्यों? जो सक्सेस ही है तो देख के कुछ मजा नहीं आएगा.
Correct.
जो सक्सेस नहीं हुए, जो फेल हुए हैं, उनको ही मोटिवेट देता है. सो आई हैव गॉन थ्रू लॉट ऑफ वीडियोस.
I mean, your story by itself, right? I mean, from what you've done, it's an inspirational story, right? To kind of start something, go to zero, multiple times go to zero, right? And then have like not only zero, right? Negative, right? Loans, debts, everything, right?
My family was on a huge debt. My father when stopped working, my family was on a huge
उसको बंद कर देता हूँ. This is like, no, we are going into